Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to build a workflow that is going to save you a ton of time with RFPs. If you're spending hours deciding if you should pursue an RFP, basically RFP valuations, go or no-go decisions, this AI workflow is going to save you so much time because it's going to automate the process for you. It's going to help you decide if you actually have a high likelihood of winning an RFP. So let me introduce you to your new best friend. This go, no-go evaluator workflow will automatically assess the fit, the budget, timeline, alignment, with your company criteria. It gives you a clear recommendation if you should pursue it or not. And if it decides that it is worth it, it's going to fill out the entire RFP for you. So let's dive into the setup. So the first thing we need to do is we're actually going to create a workflow with a manual trigger. This is basically our starting point. Whenever we receive a new RFP, we'll be able to use the manual trigger and just throw in the RFP here. We're just going to configure this trigger to accept an unfilled RFP document as an input. So once we have the RFP in place, we're going to use this extract block. And so what this extract block is going to do is pull out the company name from the RFP document. So the first thing we want to do is we actually want to identify who the company is that relates to this RFP. We're going to add in a research agent block. So this is going to actually be able to gather all this relevant information about the company that submitted the RFP. So I'm going to configure this agent to search for the company website details, LinkedIn information, funding details, recent news mentions, industry classification. So basically all this information about the company so we can actually make a really good informed decision of like, are we likely to win this RFP based on previous RFPs. The next block that I'm going to add is actually a categorization text block. So what I want to do here is that we have a certain criteria based off of our RFPs of whether we're more likely to win it on the industry or not. So basically what we're doing here is that we know we have a better likelihood of winning in some industries over other industries. And it's also just a different evaluation criteria that we go through based on the industry. So I'm setting this up with the primary categories here of healthcare, finance, education, technology. But the key thing here is I'm just showing an example of a categorization block, right? This workflow will be custom built to whatever your company does, the best way that you set up your criteria. But you can see for us, we're just adding in that industry categorization. So now for the core part of our workflow is the RFP qualifier assistant. And so this is actually an AI assistant where really all the magic happens. So this AI assistant is actually fully knowledgeable about what is the criteria in which we're more likely to win an RFP or not. Right? We've given it all this rich information of previous RFPs, the scope of work, state, federal, local requirements, budget information, timeline expectation, like everything that needs to know and go into a decision. Basically, you as the proposal manager, everything that you have in your brain, this AI assistant is replicating. This all knowledgeable AI assistant with full context of our previous RFPs, our case studies, our company, our products, everything, we're actually using it to make a score. So we want to determine if this RFP is actually going to fit into our company's acceptance criteria. And we're going to actually have it grade the opportunity against our predefined standards to provide a score out of 100. So this knowledgeable AI assistant is basically determining what is the score, what is the likelihood that we will win this RFP. It's taking into account all the information about the company online, all the information about what is our acceptance criteria as a company, and coming up with this score. We're going to add in only continue if block. So it's only going to continue the workflow if the score is above 75. Once again, this is a totally example workflow, but I'm just showing how we don't want to waste our time with RFPs that we think are below 75. We've built this AI system. We have a lot of trust in it. It's going to give us a score likelihood that we'll win. And if we do think that we will win, we go to the next step here. It's actually now going to take the RFP and it's going to extract all the questions from the document. Doesn't matter what format the RFP is. We're going to set up a loop block to process every single question in the RFP individually. And then for each question, we're actually going to use our RFP response assistant, which is an AI assistant that fully knows how we respond to RFPs to answer every single question that comes in. So basically up until this point, we've decided if we're pursuing the RFP, and if we're pursuing it, we answer every question. But it gets really interesting here at the end. If an answer isn't found, so if this AI assistant doesn't know the answer to a certain question, we're actually going to send an email directly to a human, to a proposal manager who can answer the question for us. So basically we have our AI assistant that knows all the previous RFPs, it knows how we answer questions, but in the chance and the likelihood that there is a question that they don't know the answer to, an email is going to be sent to a human to answer that specific question for the AI system. So basically a human in the loop block. So finally, once we got all the questions answered, we got all the RFPs answered, we got all the responses back from the human in the loop, we're going to compile all the questions and answers into our completed RFP template, format that into a Word document, and we're ready to go. So basically there you have it, right? I went through that pretty quickly here, but you can see I custom built this to what we as a company do. You're able to customize these workflows in any which way. Hey, if this RFP mentions this word, route it to the legal team, whatever it might be, whatever your specific process is, you can build this out inside Cassidy. And our team will help you do it directly. Just reach out. But this is the RFP Go No Go evaluator workflow template. This is available in Cassidy, and it basically eliminates that whole process of sifting through RFPs, deciding if you should pursue one or not. It does it all for you. It's a really powerful workflow. Check it out and let me know down below what other workflows or processes related to sales enablement and RFP automation. What else do you want to know? Comment down below. I'll make a video and we'll do that next time. So thanks for watching.